everyone, welcome to another commentary podcast. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Steve Baxi.
And today we're going to do something absolutely preposterous.
Preposterous.
It's not super preposterous. Today, Steve and I are going to be watching and talking about Sharknado for the first time. Steve and I have never seen this movie. It's something that I've been meaning to watch for a long time because people keep saying how hilarious it is and that it's, one of those so bad it's good B movies, and of course it's intending to be that. My wife, by the way, loves this kind of stuff, Steve. And it's going to kind of hate me for watching it without her. But Sarah and I actually once watched Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus together.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I've always meant to go back and do a commentary on that, because that's pretty funny. But anyway, there's a little bit of precedence for an impromptu, have never seen it before kind of commentary like this. Eric and I did one of these, oh my God, I want to say maybe even a couple of years back now, on a little gem called Transmorphers, and we had never seen the movie before. It was like 4 a.m. So Steve and I are at least a little bit more alert than we were then. It's only midnight and 1 o'clock where each of us are right now. But I mean, when we did that, Steve, for Eric, it was like 5 a.m. and he had been up all night. And we did Transmorphers, and I almost, a part of me didn't want to post it. So little was happening through that movie. We didn't know if it was going to be entertaining to watch. We posted it, and people really, really enjoyed it. So I've been meaning to do one of these again for a long time. Steve and I were kicking around commentary ideas, and I said, well, what if we just pick something that we've never seen before? Sharknado was the choice. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Steve, what do you know about Sharknado?
I know what the cover tells me. Sharknado, enough said. So it's a shark and a tornado, and that's all I need to know.
I know that it got super crazy popular to the point where there is a Sharknado pop figure, and it's actually one of the cooler pop figures I've seen.
I would imagine that design looks pretty awesome. So is it like 6 sharks coming out of a tornado, or what?
No, it's just one, but it's like it's like a tornado and a shark that look like they're, you can't really tell where one begins and one ends.
That's
it's
awesome.
Pretty neat. So anyway, if you've never listened to a commentary podcast before, make sure and go back and watch a different one, and then come watch this one. Listen to this. What we do is we create a commentary and a podcast simultaneously. So we will be watching the film and talking behind it. You can use this as a commentary track. Go to Netflix or get your DVD copy if you're a big fan of Sharknado and you've got it already. Get past the menus and everything, get a timestamp 0, and press play whenever I say now. We can all watch it together. If you want to just listen to this as a podcast while you're driving around in your car, or taking your kids to school, or or walking around on campus with a headset, you can do that too, and we will do our level best to create some context for you for what we're looking at, although that's going to be harder than ever before because we have never seen this movie. We know nothing about this. Do not expect us to be experts in any sense of the word. We may do a little bit of research here and there about actors and things if things pop up and we want to look stuff up, because we do not know anything about this movie, except I think it was first aired on Sci-Fi Channel. I think that's right.
Yeah, I think it's a sci-fi movie, and it's what made people appreciate sci-fi movies for being campy and goofy and embracing that. At least I think that's what it was.
They've been that for a long time. This only came out a couple years ago, but this was, I think, the first one in a long while that people thought was, imaginative and fun, and enjoyed it for the ridiculous thing that it probably is. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into it. Are you ready, Steve?
I'm set.
All right, here it goes. Sharknado. Everybody press play right now.
Oh my God. There's not even a fade in. There's just music and a tornado. That's awesome.
They are wasting no time. Wow. It is already what I expected.
A Sharknado.
That's amazing. A thing like this. I mean, usually when I watch a B movie like this, Steve, you wait for 25 minutes before you get the thing that... Oh, it is Sci-Fi Channel. Before you get the thing that you're there for in the first place. That's just right away. Sharks and a tornado.
Literally, the first thing we see is a Sharknado. That's kind of awesome.
They could get away with only showing you the teaser, not even having a movie, and it would technically be what they promised.
Oh, thank God for letting us know this is 20 miles off the coast of Mexico. I really needed to know those specific coordinates. Thank you.
Oh, Asylum did this one too?
Oh, they did they? That's awesome.
I didn't know that. Well, that's astounding that people are really liking it, because Asylum usually makes things that are, this ridiculous in B movie, but also just boring.
They made a Thor one that was horrible to get through. I only made it through like the first 15 minutes. It was so bad.
Why did you bother?
I was curious. Just like we are now, apparently.
Okay, so to be fair, they are doing your traditional setup thing here, but they just felt the need to give us a teaser so that we knew what movie we were watching.
It feels kind of like classic Godzilla off the bat right now. Um,
Well, you've got your obligatory Asian man. I'm expecting a Sharknado going through Tokyo. That's all I'm saying.
that's all we
We need
need.
that. We
This
need that to
captain
happen.
guy is really over the top. Look at that
So,
smile.
oh my God!
Waiting for the entire take.
What is that accent?
I have no idea. It's potentially just drunk captain speak.
You might hear some of that from me after a while. Some drunk captain speak.
No, admittedly, I don't have any alcohol with me, but I kind of wish I did. Just because I am curious.
You're curious about what it's like to drink alcohol?
No, I'm curious about what it's like to drink alcohol and watch this movie at the same time.
Okay. He's like, I've never done that before.
No, I've never
this
watched
guy-
something drunk, so.
Steve, this guy is Palmer. Now, is he President Palmer? Is he Ray Palmer? Is he Arnold Palmer? Is he
Well, the good news
Robert
is he's
Palmer?
already making more sense than the Palmer on Arrow. So there's nowhere to go but up from there.
That's true. Well, Steve, all signs point to Sharknado happening. We've got an ocean and we've got ominous clouds.
I really want to live in this universe and get the news report that says 25% chance of Sharknado.
I think it's great that there's a sequel. That means this is a thing that happens on an occasional basis.
There's a third one too. I think that's
already a third one?
or apparently it's already out. I'm not sure.
Oh, that they're gonna do. Wow. Well, it got really popular really fast. I feel like this is what Snakes on a Plane wanted to be as far as popularity goes.
Yes, I agree. But that movie was pretty inconsistent about that.
Now, I gotta say, so far, I'm seeing very similar crappy special effects like we had with Transmorphers. But if it look at that,
yeah.
None of that looks like it's even there. Yeah, that's a really bad looking CG boat. But again, if it's doing all this on purpose and it's got this tongue in cheek like self parody thing, then I can get behind it.
Yeah, no, you're right. It looks like they're not even really on the boat. There's just a green screen going. I like this music. It's definitely building anticipation. Now, if a shark will just jump at somebody, that's all I need.
And very clearly, they did not hire an actual orchestra for this music.
Oh, not.
Dun, dun,
There's
dun.
a shark.
Man, there's already a shark.
Oh
man, he got that guy. Steve, we are 4 minutes in, and we just got a brutal shark kill.
He just swallowed him whole. He didn't even chew.
Steve, this is already wonderfully entertaining. I'm sorry. You cut out for a minute. What were you saying?
I was just saying, because a gun will help you stop a tornado with sharks.
Well, we don't have a tornado yet. Right now it's just a shark.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how much guns will help against a shark, though. At least a pistol like that.
Well, I mean, it's flopping around. I
don't know where he's planning to go.
I feel like at the point that there's a shark eating people, that wow, look at that hammerhead! This is so great.
I love this already. Oh my god, this is kind of brutal.
That is really brutal. I was just gonna say, I feel like at the moment that, and we're getting credits now. That was fun. I feel like I'm gonna finally finish the sentence. That at the featuring a lot of people you've never heard of. That at the moment that you've got a shark on the deck eating people, it might be time to forget about your double cross and maybe figure out a way to survive
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Not a lot of good can be done with money when you're in the middle of the ocean surrounded by sharks. That's all I'm saying. And now it just turned into not another teen movie, so there's that.
Yeah, that's right. We've got to have movies like this are all about different kinds of eye candy, right? It's all about the really shallow stuff of we're not gonna tell a real story or anything. We got sharks eating people and we got hot chicks in bikinis. That's
It's Piranha 3D so far, so except the shark.
you can kind of tell who this is aimed at.
Yeah, definitely
Right out the
so.
gate.
Um, by the way, the
Not
title for the sequels are Sharknado 2, the second one, and Sharknado 3, oh hell no.
well, see, the nice thing is they're presenting themselves just as what they are. I mean, you and I can't sit here and criticize this
I wouldn't even want to. This is awesome.
being what it is. Yeah,
At least it's sure of
I,
itself.
I,
Because you get other sci-fi movies that try to be campy and they're really, really bad at it.
well, you got to use your imagination.
No, I just mean like every now and then they try to do actual character stuff and it doesn't work.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I thought you meant trying too hard to be campy.
Oh no, no, I mean like being strangely inconsistent about the campiness. Like one minute you're having a ghost that pulls pranks on people, and the next moment you're doing a some kind of deep conversation about identity.
Yeah, but I think you can get away with pretending like you're talking about deep things when you clearly aren't,
Yes, yes, that can
and
definitely.
use that to make fun of the kinds of movies that do that crap.
Yeah,
That can be kind of fun.
yeah,
Seems to
definitely.
be a very dangerous surf. There's a 25% chance of Sharknado.
NATO.
I like how one of the first lines of dialogue in the movie is something along the lines of there's nothing on Earth is unnatural, and that's funny in this movie. It's like, oh well, you've not yet seen sharks swirling around in a tornado, my friend.
Or maybe what they're saying
That's not
is they're
unnatural.
predicting the future, and in a few years we will have our own Sharknado.
Okay, no one believes you when you say that's how you cut yourself. Clearly, that's either a shark bite or a whole bunch of very tiny boomerangs.
See, when she was in high school, she got really behind Captain Boomerang for a while, and it didn't really work out because it's like a Joker Harley thing. But oh well.
That guy is going to feel really bad later on when this storm kills them all. He says, I just hope this storm kills them all. Well, be careful what you wish for, friend. See, we are. There's a lot of foreshadowing here for what we can already tell by the title and the teaser. That was like a double or triple teaser, Steve.
Yeah, that it was.
Will be a lot of death, gruesome, brutal, and yet not even remotely realistic enough for me to cringe. Death.
Oh boy, I can't wait until this gets more preposterous and we see how bad the CGI is.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, we've already seen some pretty great, terrible CG.
James Cameron, eat your heart out.
Do you remember? Are you old enough, Steve, to remember commercials for a toy called the Skip It?
I have no idea what that is.
I think that's what it was called. It's this thing that you wrap around your leg and you turn like a
Oh
pirate thing,
yeah, I know what
and
you're
then
talking
you
about.
jump and you like flip it
Yeah,
around
you keep moving
and
around
you
your
jump
leg and you jump on
you
one.
jump over it.
Yeah.
Well, when she was running into the surf just now, she had a thing on her leg that looked a lot like that. It reminded
Oh,
me of one of those. I was like, oh, she's gonna go in the water and play with a Skip It.
I don't know how well that would work.
And this is giving us the very important information that these folks are athletic.
Yes, yes. You see, this is the kind of surveillance Zordon does before he picks his Power Rangers. You have to be able to surf, and you have to be able to do skip it in the water.
My God, there's a shark. That guy who wants us all dead conjured it.
See, maybe this is some kind of deep movie about occult magic.
Maybe that's not actually a shark.
Maybe not.
I don't believe you when you tell me that that's a shark.
It looks so fake. It looks like something I could buy. Now, importantly, they're being really ominous about this.
Oh, it's great. I mean, look how many sharks there are. We can't. I mean, we've already done Jaws. We can't have one shark. We gotta have 15 in every scene. I don't think do sharks hunt in packs.
No, as far as I know, they are loners.
Now, I'm no marine biologist, Steve, but I don't think that sharks tend to. Wasn't that what made Jaws scary? Was that it was
Yes.
also lone shark? Ha ha.
Did we just
Lone
reuse that footage?
Lone shark. I think we did. Sharks. That was profound. See, Steve, I care a lot about these people that are getting killed because of all that interesting character development that we had
Well, you see,
in
the
the
way they
previous scene.
surf and the way they move around is a symbol and foreshadowing of their character and their ultimate fate. And they kind of lose balance to symbolize that they're about to be eaten by their legs first.
Are they? That's not symbolism. That's foreshadowing, Steve.
It's late. I'm getting my definitions mixed up.
That is, yeah. You're having difficulty with your literary devices right now, Steve.
And I feel like I will need every bit of them to talk about this movie.
I think all of these people should run into that bar and get all the Jaeger shots that were being advertised. Because that's the only way they're going to be able to keep their sanity to handle this impossible situation.
Does that guy on the board look the least bit concerned at all?
No, because the acting in this movie is amazing.
Well, see, he's got special CGI vision, so he's all right.
That guy just. What made that guy fall off the staircase?
I have no idea.
He looked like he leapt off of it.
Oh
Wow.
my god. This is surprisingly brutal.
It is. There was a time when you couldn't show stuff like this on broadcast television.
I mean, there was a time where you couldn't even have the B movie means to get blood and gore like this, but okay, why not?
Wow. For a minute there, they looked like they were on a floating R2D2.
Yeah.
Steve, I just figured out a way that you could make a sequel into a political thriller.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready for this? Here's
Sure.
the premise. The premise, just like Sharknado, is in the title, right? It's Shark, N-A-T-O.
Sharknado, that's great.
Sharknado.
You see, maybe you can turn this into a 70s Robert Redford movie where it's about legislation to prevent shark attacks. Oh my god,
that guy's missing a leg. Aw, son, you got no leg.
Oh wow, he is in so much pain. He is just clearly just writhing in pain.
I can tell by all the grunting.
And his
see, this movie has levity because he's joking about almost losing a leg.
Yeah.
The way they shoot the studio shoots movies sometimes. I'm saying this after the long running group of two that I've seen. Sometimes it's really confusing as to what exactly is going on. There's some really counterintuitive shooting. Was I looking at the guy who lost a leg, or was that a different guy? And then this guy is losing.
I think that was a different guy, but how he lost his leg and managed to make it back when the guy who didn't lose his leg on a speeder bike did make it back is kind of confusing.
Yeah, that guy needs to be an Olympic swimmer, clearly, because he doesn't even need legs.
No, he doesn't have any panic or fear.
Wait, did I see that right? There's a character in this called Finn Shepard.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Is this guy wearing the exact same shirt he was before the attack? Apparently just no one moved. It was just a couple hours of sharks and now everyone's cool.
He gave me a nibble. See, I'm endearing because I can keep my sense of humor, having almost been eaten by a shark.
It seems like the blonde guy and the black-haired guy seem to be competing for the lone wolf Wolverine role in this movie.
You're both wrong. It's a Sharknado. Earlier, that guy was like, it said not knocking on your, and I was like, okay, we get it. You're from the 80s. Okay.
Clearly, this movie was going up against Jaws, and I just realized, we'll let Steven Spielberg have his fun. We'll release our thing later. We'll still make our money back.
And they just hung on to it. You're from the 80s. I like how they're not even pretending like we're supposed to like these characters. Yeah. I really don't think they are. I think the movie wants us to root for them to get eaten by sharks. And somehow, or rather, because of that, maybe it's just because I'm talking over it, they're not as irritating as they are in movies when we pretend like we're supposed to care about them, but they're not likable in any way.
Yeah, they're nothing like the horror movie characters that we want to die in, like, slasher films. They're at least tolerable.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. I think they're just tolerable in the sense that the movie knows they're not. It's this weird circular thing. It's just, this is so much more self-aware than even that Transmorphers movie. I also like the clip that it's moving at.
Yeah, I think one of the
reasons people are enjoying this movie so much. I mean, yeah, it's completely dumb and mindless, but it knows it, and there's a pacing to it.
Yeah,
Steve,
no, you're right.
It's reasonably Sharknado, reasonably paced. This woman talking on the phone in a house somewhere is reminding me of a somewhat younger version of Rose Tyler's mother from Doctor Who.
She's kind of got that going for her, doesn't she?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're 100 miles from the ocean. Sharknadoes can smell you from 100 miles away.
Apparently, they don't even need blood. That's just there as an extra horror.
Okay, I just can't get my mind around all the we've got fish puns already everywhere. We got a guy named Finn in a movie with sharks, and they're talking about Finland. Yeah, it's Finland because we got sharks. Steve, do you get it? It's Finland because there's sharks.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with fins on fish. Potentially.
Okay, so Steve, is this a disaster movie, a horror film, or both?
I'm gonna go with both. But it's certainly feeling like a disaster movie as we speak.
Don't forget Taco Tuesdays. That's when the evil Legos show up. And
President Business is really happy that they're going to keep that alive despite the sharks. CGI water everywhere.
Somebody's going to have to go into the Sharknado and get the Craggle. Steve,
because your job is what matters when sharks are trying to eat you.
Yeah, priorities, friend.
How much do you make at that restaurant? Oh my god. I did not see that coming.
I love your reactions to the... Look, that shark just wants to play pool. Oh my god.
He called dibs. That's what happens when you put a quarter on the pool table. He was just coming back to collect.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm seeing a lot of things I've never seen before. I never thought I would see a shark in a pool bar get stabbed with a pool cue.
Yeah. I never thought I'd see that either, but then again, I never thought I'd be watching Sharknado, so...
You know what's great? We're talking through all of this, and I'm having no trouble following what's happening.
No, neither am I. I'm glad that it doesn't even think it needs to be complex. Oh, shotguns, okay. This is gonna be fun.
I'm enjoying this so much, I think we should potentially, maybe, Steve, do all of them like this.
Is the second one on...
I'm sorry, what?
Is the second one on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, potentially we can.
We're doing... No, buy it! Obviously you want to own these. You gotta have these in your personal collection.
Oh yeah, 50 years from now, I'm going to be telling my son, you see, I saw Sharknado when it aired on television.
I don't even know if I'm going to have to go back and watch this after talking with you about it, over it. I'm like, this is memorable.
This is kind of memorable. Oh my god, he just beat up. CGI, you are no match for my stool.
That line, you're You're no match for my stool. Oh my god. He's gonna hit it with a tank.
Oh my god, they're doing slow motion now.
But it was slow motion of the guy simply picking up a septic tank.
Oh, did his head blow up? That's not how guns work.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Here comes the Ferris wheel, and that actually looks pretty good.
It does, surprisingly. Now, I don't know if wind can blow up a Ferris.
Now, my standards might be way lowered because I'm watching this. But
I like that guy is still carrying the stool as if that will help him.
That's if this was a video game, if this movie got a video game, which obviously it should, clearly.
It hasn't gotten a video game. That's a genius idea.
That guy, oh, that's great. That actually looks pretty cool. For the CG, that was fun. The Ferris wheel. Anyway, hitting that building. If this way, somebody should make an 8 or 16-bit side-scrolling video game of this with that guy holding a stool, beating off sharks with it, like just walking down the street. He just holds it over his head, and then he just hits sharks as they come at him. And he's got one move. He just goes forward with it, and then it's like a beat-em-up game or a platformer or something. That would be his move.
That should be a DLC for those Dead Rising zombie games. Why not?
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
You know, I liked Mesogog a lot. I liked Lord Zed a lot, but none of their plans are anywhere near as cool as this.
What is the master plan of the Sharknado, Steve?
The master plan of the Sharknado is obviously that they need to create an extinction level event because they think humanity needs to be exterminated. And Ultron just saw this movie when he was on the internet.
You think that's what happened?
Pretty much. Yeah, why not?
Now, I told you before we started recording this that you were going to overthink this movie. And you're like, no, it'll be impossible. And you've already done it like 5 times.
I kind of want it to be smart now just because that would be hilarious.
I live on the beach, and it's obviously flooded. There's nowhere to go.
I gotta admit, though, their delivery is nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, but I still feel like I could be in one of these movies, Steve.
Oh, yeah, totally. You'd be overqualified. Are you kidding?
They'd take one look at Spawn here and be like, nope, sorry, you can't be in our film.
You'd actually demand money for that. No way.
You are overqualified.
Does it just perpetually have rain clouds in this city? I love this music. That's awesome.
What is with all this weather?
I don't get it. There's just constantly a storm cloud.
What I'm trying to figure out is if the sharks have intentionally brought this weather somehow. Like, I feel like there's this collective consciousness of sharks that's one with the weather. Like it feels intentional somehow.
So is the storm their Captain Planet of when these sharks combine, they are Sharknado?
I think so. I gotta tell you, man, I'm surprised by how much action we've already had.
It's only been 25 minutes, and we've had like 3 or 4 shark attacks. So yeah,
and a lot of blood. It's a brutal, brutal movie. Now everybody knows I don't like gratuitous violence and stuff, but this is a flat-out comedy. Like there is no taking this seriously at all. It knows how stupid and gross it is.
A shark swimming around on a stop sign. That's kind of awesome.
That's kind of just a cool image, right? Like they're having a lot of fun with this, Steve. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's surprising. It's like someone actually had a kind of a passion to make this a ridiculously fun movie.
Yeah.
We don't need more blood in the water. That's awesome.
That's a tiger shark. How do you know that?
Shark Week. That would be my answer to every one of these questions.
There's even some decent, clever dialogue in this for what it is, right? Like
that almost feels like a Joss Whedon line.
I'm not gonna go that far, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's clever enough.
Can I start shooting? I think shooting now is a great idea.
This guy is incredibly enthusiastic with his dialogue.
I think he's supposed to be that but I think he's supposed to be that kind of grizzled older guy that's been around the block and he's kind of hardened and sarcastic.
See, back in '64, he saw the first Sharknado and lived through that.
Why is this guy so obsessed with chairs?
I don't know.
Is this the stool guy?
Yeah,
Or was
yeah,
that a
that's the stool guy.
This is the stool guy?
Yeah, that's the stool guy.
He is obsessed with chairs. He's like the girls will be impressed with me if something with my chair. I don't even know what he's talking about. Oh, now we're in a big city, Steve.
Oh boy, I can't wait till the sharks just ripping apart buildings.
Yeah, can you believe the escalation in this movie?
Yeah, really. But it's weird because the sharks don't even swim up land; they just get thrown into buildings, as far as we've seen so far.
Is it sad how much larger the scope is of this movie than, say, Alien versus Predator?
Yeah, really. That movie had a budget.
This movie doesn't need one.
No, it doesn't. Typical California, because when I go to California, I see sharks across the street. You know, it's actually got even a pretty decent color palette too.
Yeah, it's got kind of a stylistic look to it.
I'm enjoying this way more than I enjoy stuff like Scary Movie, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Faith would help them quite a bit, don't you think, Steve?
Yeah,
She could
yeah.
show up.
She'd be great for this kind of stuff. All you gotta do is get her some popcorn.
Look at all the sharks. I still feel like the sharks have got to be doing this on purpose.
Yeah, they've got a plan. You see, they want vengeance. Maybe Namor's behind this.
Do you think we're going to get to the end of this? Because again, I know nothing about this movie. I've never looked into the ending. I've not talked to people that have really watched it. Are we going to get to the end of this and have any explanation for what is going on? And furthermore, is it interesting that no one is asking that question? No one's like, or at least not that I've noticed. Like, sharks don't. I'm talking over dialogue, so maybe they have, but sharks do not do things like this. Like the first thing. And I shouldn't compare this to this movie, but it's a little bit like with The Mask, where it's like nobody asked the question of how does that guy do such impossible supernatural things?
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to just think that this is a natural occurrence in their universe. Just every now and then, sharks attack, and it's like living on a fault line or something.
Oh my God, we've got to have that cliche thing where the woman's maybe gonna die because she's trying to save her dog.
I've got a Man of Steel joke, but I feel like I don't want to lose subscribers.
I said it for him. Well, it wasn't even a joke. I just said, man, it just reminded me of that. I loved how that guy was like, there's no reason. Okay, I lost Steve for a minute, but we're back. And we're as lined up as we're going to be. So hopefully we're watching close to the same.
Oh, he's got the stool again.
Here. Oh, there, yep.
I think I might be a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me. That's all right.
All right. I love that he kept that.
Steve, I've got a perpetual text that just says everyone yelling.
That's what I've got too.
The subtitles for quite a while just say everyone yelling. No, that's a given in a movie like this. They're gonna be yelling. I think this is a testament, though, to the kinds of effects you can do now with very little money.
Yeah, no, if you want to make this movie in your own room, you probably could.
in a room. Well, you can tell how much of this is done with a green screen.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They don't even try to hide it, though, which is part of the fun of it. I mean, I've seen fan Dragon Ball Z and Star Wars films that look just as good as the originals, so... Oh, well, there goes Stool Guy.
Love how a minute ago the stool guy was like, there is no reason to go out there. I'm like, I agree. And you should tell Lana Lang that at the end of Smallville Season 1 when she sees 3 tornadoes coming at her, become one giant tornado, and then decides, you know what I'm going to do? Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's a different situation because she gets out, is right next to a ditch, and gets back in the car. Honestly, I know we're dealing with a tornado in this, but because there are sharks, I don't know if getting in a ditch is the right idea.
Well, it depends on how many sharks are attacking you. So getting in a ditch might be helpful if it's only.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they can. They can probably get in there though.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the streets are flooded, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Unless you can fly, you're kind of screwed.
These people are acting.
Yeah, yeah. I can practically see the script reflected in their eyes.
10 fingers, 10 toes. You know, when you're dealing with this kind of threat, you do have to occasionally count your limbs.
Someone's just gonna be walking around here with 9 fingers, and he just wished he counted a little bit earlier.
He's gonna get through all this and be like, I did not even notice my pinky was missing. So much adrenaline, I didn't even feel that.
This
Steve,
radio person is fantastic.
You got the radio. It was, well, we have reports of sharks. 100% chance of sharks.
So in this universe, is raining cats and dogs more than a figure of speech?
I think so. I think that when you've dealt with something like this, you gotta be careful because people will take things more literally. Did you see the Beverly Hills sign that was just waving?
That's a lot of flooding.
Yeah.
I mean, at this
Family
point,
Mart.
At this point, it's almost a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, I wonder if the sequels are going to be like a post-apocalyptic Sharknado world, or if it's just, well, everything was okay at the end, but there's going to be more Sharknados because it's like a collective Borg shark consciousness.
Everyone will be driving around wearing leather. It'll be Mad Max Shark Road.
You've got to have one. You're having a bad day when you get shot out of one of those, Steve.
Maybe that's why the sharks are attacking.
When you go through it was a drainage ditch. That was someone who decided to get in a ditch, and then yeah, we need one of these where the sharks try to go back in time to stop first contact. Oh, he's not my fin anymore. Well, you got to count and see how many fins he has because what was that noise?
I have no idea.
Did you hear that sound effect?
I did. What was that?
Was that a sound effect in a movie, or was that on one of our ends? I just heard this like whoosh, and I was like, what is with that cartoon sound effect? What was even happening?
I think that was the shark jumping out of the sewer effect, maybe?
I'm sorry, you cut out there for a minute. What?
Maybe was it the shark jumping out of the sewer effect? Because it kind of sounded like that.
Well, where I heard it was just while they were talking to the lady at the door.
Oh, well, that's
just all
weird.
of a sudden I heard a whoosh.
Strange.
Correct that whip!
So this guy in the very overpriced dress shirt is clearly our Tom Welling because he sounds so much like him.
Kind of, but if he was like doing soap commercials or something, like he looks like a cross between Tom Welling and Fabio. There's a shark in your pool.
Shark in a swimming pool is impossible.
That's impossible. You're gonna die.
I love how characters just come in and die out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're no Luke Skywalker, son. That's impossible! Famous last words in so many movies. That is impossible is right up there with quiet, too quiet.
Yes, exactly.
I'm enjoying the variety of locales, Steve.
It's surprisingly it's got surprisingly complex here.
He means in like sets and things, not in story.
No, definitely not in story. And even like the random eating of people and all the blood everywhere, it doesn't look gratuitous. It's actually kind of clever.
See, after that happens to a guy that the leg came off, really everybody after the scene is going to need to count each other's arms and legs.
Yeah, really.
Make
how
sure
can you
they're all
know
still
at this
there.
point if a shark's nibbling on your toes?
Usually in a situation like this, you would take a head count, but here you gotta count head and legs and arms.
Why doesn't the shark just swim
Wow.
underneath it?
Wow. Maybe it's too shallow.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Like this movie. That was an obvious obligatory joke. I apologize. Sorry, Steve, you're breaking up again. What was that?
I just said CGI shark will be back.
After this break.
I'm really not getting where these sharks are coming from. Are they just getting blown in from the water? Or, like you said, is it like a conscious thing on their part?
Boy, they seem like they're on a mission to me, Steve.
And a mission after these very particular people for some reason.
These sharks are with a purpose. Well, that's just because that's the generic random people that the movie decided we were going to focus on. And the sharks know that because they've read the script. Oh, no! No. I did not need that line, Steve. Oh, no!
Oh, that's great.
That time of the month. No, it's not! That's horrible! Why would you make that kind of a derogatory joke when you just saw people get ripped up?
Because this movie is not above anything, apparently.
No, it's not, man. Oh, that's horrible.
This is a lot better than Transmorphers, though.
Oh yeah, a lot. That was just a bunch of people standing around melodramatically talking at each other, and then occasionally you get a robot fight. I think the reason you're not included is because you're derogatory and rude and vulgar. In that order. Why are we still talking? There's sharks in the water.
It kind of reminds me of The Flash, where we're in life or death situations, but we should probably sit here and assess our drama quota for a little while.
Yeah, we're just worried about relationships and stuff.
I feel like this is a really bad plan, but that's all right.
I don't know if I can bring myself to wade through that water, Steve.
No, neither could I. I don't know how he's going to think this is going to work. Why would the shark go after him?
Like, it's okay, it's Kool-Aid. Wow. See how giant the eye on that shark was?
Yes. She is so worried. That there was so much emotion in that call.
Well, she shouldn't be worried. The man's name is Finn. He's in a shark movie. He's going to make it through the whole film. He might die at the end, but he's going to make it through most of it. His name is Finn.
Now, do you think that if this was the actual backdoor pilot for an Aquaman film...
Sorry, go ahead.
Do you think that if this was the actual backdoor pilot for an Aquaman TV show, it would have taken off?
Well, considering that Smallville wanted to be a horror show most of the time, this being on the CW, I could almost see it. Maybe a little bit less gruesome? Not by much?
It's kind of on Gotham territory, to be honest.
And scored by Mark Snow. Of X-Files fame, who also did the first few seasons of Smallville. Because, of course, those sensibilities made sense for that show. I love Mark Snow.
You probably could have done that and made it work, but they didn't.
But that's not exactly what happened, no.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that will make people unsubscribe, more Smallville bashing on Geekvolution, yeah. Sorry, folks. If you've never seen it, I am the host of Counting Crypto Freaks, and I'm snarky about that show.
So,
do you always have that much ammo in your Jeep? I was taught when I was in Boy Scouts to always have a lot of ammo in your Jeep. Sorry, what's that? Oh, they mentioned a meteor shower and zombies in the same breath!
This movie totally knows exactly what it is. You cannot make an argument that this movie is confused at all. No, not at all. It knows exactly what it is. This is, dare I say, for this, if I can say genre, for whatever this is, it is cohesive so far. I mean, like, it knows what it is. I mean, if you're just taking it on its own merits, I could say that this is actually a legitimately good movie.
I mean, that word means a different thing than what we usually mean, of course.
No,
Naturally, of
but I mean,
course.
like, if we're talking about spoof parody asylum type movies, this is pretty good.
Well, I've reviewed these kinds of movies before. I did a
Oh yeah,
Rewind
Rotten
United
or Killer
on
Tomatoes.
yeah, that's a different thing. Attack on the Killer Tomatoes, and this so far is has a better sense of what it wants to be than that movie, I think.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's also that really famous horror movie where the Australian priest yells, I." Oh, I can't say that on this channel, but
Oh well, we're all right. There's not as many sharks flying around. I just love how he was like, he was like, it could have been a meteor shower or zombies. Why, with my luck, did it have to be sharks? If it was either of those things, you would be begging for sharks.
Now this town looks almost like it's uninhabited at this point, so I wonder if everyone just kind of jumped ship.
Oh look, we just got some. We just got the character flaw for our protagonist. See, he cares to. It's spelled out by the girl. He cares too much about other people than his own family. He's got this. He's got some kind of a hero complex that puts the rest of the world above his family. He's a superhero, Steve.
So superhero rewind. We can't expect that on this film then, yes, Cap?
oh God. Here's me wishing that I could take those words and shove them right back where they came from. We got a superhero named Finn in a world of flying sharks.
That is a pretty massive shark.
Wow, the amazing atheist is in this film?
I can't believe you made that joke. That's awesome.
I can't believe we made that joke either.
I do think that would be your kind of joke.
Well, it just reminded me of him a little bit.
Oh, they're gearing up. This is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Do you always keep this much ammo in your school bus?
Do you keep this many grapnels and hooks in your school bus?
And Finn as Batman.
How is he surviving this? Why is he saving these people? Because he's Finn. This is surprisingly epic.
So when can we expect Sharknado the animated series?
I don't know, but I want that.
I would watch it.
If you can make RoboCop into a kids cartoon, you can do this.
If you could make the 1998 Godzilla into a kind of watchable cartoon show,
yeah. Just the fact that everyone's there for one-liners makes this so much better.
Remember, kids, the school bus is still the safest way to travel.
Stay in school and away from shallow water. Not that it matters at this point, because it seems like everywhere there's water.
Yeah. Yeah, these people are not going to go swimming for a while.
No, I don't think
sales on backdoor swimming pools are going to plummet. Some of the cinematography in the scene is not bad.
No, it's not. I am really surprised by the quality of this movie. I expected it to be pretty unwatchable, and it's not.
Yeah, I mean, some work went into this, Steve.
Yeah, really. Now, if you get rid of the whole shark and tornado concept, there's actually potential of a disaster movie here.
Oh, you think? Okay.
Because I mean, if you've watched stuff like 2012 and you see how bad disaster movies have gotten, this is actually much better than that.
Wow. Well, I feel like what we've got here is a ridiculous premise that they're milking, and that's why it's kind of working.
Yeah, no,
right. It's not all concept and no execution. I mean, I really expected like a couple of token action scenes, and this is all what you're here for.
Yeah, no, you're right.
For the most part, they have really stayed on the slim side of the obnoxious exchanges with these silly characters that are obsessed with drama, and they've given us just enough that, as we said earlier, I think they're mostly just there because that's a trope of this, and they're aping it.
Shark on a school bus.
Shark on a school bus.
Now, I didn't watch a lot of Magic School Bus when I was a kid, but if this happened regularly, I think I might have been missing something.
Screaming
kids!
Oh my god, this is so great. What they need is a copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to tell them to not panic, Steve.
Oh my god, yes.
And next summer on Broadway, Sharknado, the musical.
I just want to see that attempted. It would be so much worse than the Spider-Man musical.
You know, there's some legitimately fun lines in this. Okay, let's not do this before lunch.
Oh wow, that's
watch out, cool. Fans! That is scary.
That is.
I mean,
that kind of is.
I'm not saying it looks great, but okay, I have to say it, Steve. I have to. Should I say it, or do you want to say it?
No, you can go ahead. I think you got this.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm set.
Throw him down the shark repellent. Throw him down the shark repellent.
On some days, you just can't get rid of a shark.
How is anyone into Batman not watching this situation and thinking, he's even kicking it, Steve? It's the same thing except no helicopter.
Oh my god, this is awesome. I can see why this movie took off.
I think it deserves it.
Too, yeah.
As ridiculous, and I mean, it knows what it is. It's not trying to be anything more than what it is. Wow.
Yeah, no, really.
My wife is gonna love this.
I can't wait to see her reaction. This was hilarious so far.
You know that a shark is gonna eat the Hollywood sign.
Oh,
There's no way they set up the Hollywood sign and a shark does not eat that sign.
Of course. Likes the tornado got bit of it, but
there he goes.
Because the Jeep will help you in this situation, yeah.
Yeah, I think you should not pull a lot of Lang. Do not get back in that car. Whoa.
That's
the Y
cool.
Almost got him. This is a cool idea, Steve.
It's not bad at all.
They're having a duck the Hollywood sign. This is cool.
This is awesome.
This has gone from surprisingly watchable to legitimately neat in this particular scene.
Wow. I mean, it's legitimately a pretty good movie at this point.
Wow. That laugh. You're gonna die. He's standing off by himself.
Yeah, he's totally gonna die. Nope, there it is.
Taken out. Here it comes. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's brutal. Yeah.
That's gotta hurt.
Anytime you're in a movie where there's a guy giving a one-liner or monologuing all by his lonesome and there's a whole crowd of people, those people are jerks if they don't pull him into the group.
And never comment on how okay you are, because you just know you're not about to be.
Luckily I'm okay. I'm not the expendable guy that was just introduced 40 minutes into the movie.
My paycheck says I survive until the end of the film.
Whoa, that's a lot of... Okay, so clearly it should have been called Sharknadoes, because there's more than one of them.
This is the part of this of our commentary where Cap dissects the title.
Yeah. You've picked me, Steve. Steve, by this point, clearly knows me all too well.
I kind of want the analysis of Sharknado and what that means.
Well, I made the mistake of calling Finn a superhero. I didn't mean it. I did not mean that.
Is that a shark just laying on the helicopter pad a second ago? It was just laying there.
They got creative with this, Steve.
Oh, they totally did. Someone in the studio really wanted to make this movie.
This looks like it was a blast to put together.
I don't see how it wouldn't be. It's actually kind of fun.
I mean, it's a little bit more in, and I'm not a big fan of these movies, but I think it's a little bit more in like the trauma tradition.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's cool.
Kill it!
Kill it with the bat. That's awesome. That is actually pretty scary. I don't believe it's there at all, but it's kind of scary.
Have we already? I've lost track of some of our characters. Have we already killed off the guy with the stool?
Yeah, that happened a little while ago. It happened after
Oh,
we
okay.
saved the dog.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I'm pretty sure the dog's dead at this point, but
I was hoping he would make it all the way through, just so that we could keep getting more stuff with the wow, more
that's
stuff with
awesome.
the stool.
Yeah, I was hoping so too.
I love that your trademark weapon is a stool. There's something weirdly
Yeah,
unnerving about the giant nutcracker in the street.
yeah, it's kind of strange. Um, I was kind of surprised by the fact that the stool was actually more helpful than the shotgun spin. Like it actually got rid of a couple more sharks.
Well, he watched a lot of professional wrestling, Steve. At least the rain is easing up a bit. Of course, unfortunately we have a whole lot of cool air and warm air coming together right now. But
This store is still operating. I kind of like that.
yeah, expect looters, pal.
Yeah, really. But again, it just solidifies the theory that in this universe, Sharknadoes are a common practice.
I mean, they are acting like they've never seen this kind of thing before, but it does seem like the sort of world where they're less surprised than you or I would be.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
would
mean,
be
maybe it's like a one every 10
traumatized.
year kind of thing.
It's like, oh my god, one more reason not to live on a coast.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Well, the movie's not over, so you
It
should
only get worse.
expect more more horrible shark eating. You start looting.
I don't know why they wouldn't at this point.
Yeah, well, that's because they're our heroes, Steve. They're trying to hold the order of the.
Well, we'll see. Now you're figuring this line in. Maybe it's a
Oh my
commentary.
god!
Maybe it's a
Like
commentary on apocalypse prophecies and how the imposed structure needs to collapse.
I love how this guy thinks the government is behind this. That's hilarious. He's giving this whole spiel. I gotta hand it to the Sharks. I never saw that
Oh,
coming. Never occurred to me in a million years that the Sharks might rise up and rebel against us.
you know, they just talked about how there's the Eye of the Storm and there's Hurricane David. So shouldn't it be like Shark Hurricane?
Yeah. Yeah, now who's complaining about the title?
I've spent too much time talking with you. That's exactly what this is at this point.
I've spent too much time talking to you. I'm trying to figure out how this whole thing is a social commentary about the government surveillance. I kind of like that. Oh my god. Yeah. That's how much of a badass they are. They're just rolling over the sharks in the street. The I kind of enjoy that line. I don't know if you noticed this, Steve, when the guy goes, they even know what kind of cheese I like, pepper jack.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, he was talking about all the things that the government knows about, and that the government's behind everything. And
So I'm gonna get lynched for this, but I like this way more than I like The Walking Dead.
well, I've not watched that show, and I think there's actually character stuff in that.
Well, we'll have to talk about that off mic.
Oh, okay, all right. See, those people in that show are begging for sharks, Steve.
Yeah, they probably are.
okay, that was unintentional but interesting. And I think, okay, I gotta mention this really quick. I think it's probably just a circumstantial thing and just the prop car they got. But there's a police car that on the front of it says state police. But if you see it in a reflection, it looks like it says police state.
See, this is supporting the social commentary theory. There is a conspiracy here.
And directly after, the guy was throwing out a crazy conspiracy theory that the government sent tornadoes.
Exactly.
But it's not as insane as it might. Okay, it is, but it's not quite as insane as you would usually think, because a bunch of sharks all come together and rise up against people with water. How does it even happen?
A government conspiracy. There is technology to control animals at this point, so
there must be people behind. Yeah, but that much water and like it's like somehow the sharks are controlling the water. Also,
oh my god, that's awesome. Where did they get this Jeep? Where did this even come from?
I don't know if we talked over it, but I'm pretty sure they just suddenly had it.
That's weird, but okay, I'll roll with it because they're rolling with it.
We're in a place right now where they can't decide if the city has shut down or not.
Yeah.
Because old people can't hear. This script is just cracking me up.
Oh yeah, it's surprisingly clever.
Whoa.
That's cool.
You have said that way more times than I thought you would in this commentary, Steve.
I just said that this is awesome way more times than I'd ever thought I would.
Yeah, that's a lot of sharks.
That is. Now,
and their reaction is not what my reaction would be. My reaction would be, someone hand me a harpoon, not so that I can go after the sharks, but so I can stab myself.
I'd be trying to figure out whether or not this is a dream. These guys are actually behaving pretty rationally about the situation, as if they've done this before.
I'm a little surprised by that myself, except for the part where they're obsessed with, dramatic relationships.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe they're just so used to it that dramatic relationships feed into it because it's just kind of casual.
And of course, it's always a bunch of cute girls and guys against the big, scary force.
I don't know, man. I feel like the CW could learn a few things from this script.
There just went 10 more subscribers, dude. Oh, I get it. See, it's because there's a tornado. They're not actually in Kansas. You know how I know? Because I live there, and it doesn't look anything like this. Of course, it doesn't look anything like it does in Smallville either.
Well, it doesn't help they shoot that in Canada, so.
Yeah. That's why all their Kansas people say sorry.
I thought she was legitimately worried about about a shark hiding in a closet.
Yeah, that's the thing I couldn't figure out. We're like, okay, all the 10 situations in this are about sharks eating people. Or are we suddenly supposed to be afraid that there's a human killer in a closet? Like, what kind of suspense were we building there?
That was kind of confusing, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think a storm sword would be helpful in this situation, but okay.
What? No. Was that supposed to be like a building suspense thing? Because it did not work.
No, it didn't.
They have surprised me with things in this movie, but that did not work.
I don't know. I'm almost like wondering if they did that on purpose at this point. I feel like this script is a lot smarter than I thought it would be.
Yeah, a lot of it is just we got to do those tropes. Yeah, you should. They're already calling it a Sharknado!
That's awesome.
They're just straight up calling it that. It's like a superhero movie where at some point we just have to... Don't say it again, Steve. It's like at some point...
I can hear the theme song, Sharknado Superhero Rewind.
You have all these people. I think fewer people would say, no, that's not a superhero movie, just because of the novelty of me actually doing it there. Of course, I could do this on Rewind United. Somebody could request it.
April Fools, man. April Fools could totally be the place to put this next year.
And then just review it as a superhero movie.
Yes, exactly.
Be like, well, ultimately at the end of the day, my big question is, I don't know if I'm supposed to be rooting for the Sharknado or for Finn. I don't know if which one of them is the superhero, because like Finn has some superhero elements to his personality, but then the Sharknado is the big silly thing that we had to do a name drop with, and that's usually the superhero. So
Well, you see, it's a lot like Daredevil, where there's a paralleling relationship, and the Sharknado, by the end of it, realizes that it is the ill intent. Stand and fight what? Sharks? I don't get that.
I yeah, let's remember that it's also a tornado. We gotta stay here and fight until like it is as stupid as if there were no sharks in it.
There was actually a Roman emperor that decided to declare war on Poseidon and sent his armies out to stab the water. That is the equivalent of this.
Yeah, the difference is that you'd think after a few thousand years we'd gotten a little smarter than that.
Well, we're
But maybe
making
not these
Sharknadoes.
people. Maybe maybe the fact that we made Sharknado tells us otherwise.
Although I don't know, I feel like this is really good. It's too cheap to use that joke considering how good this is. So
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, no, I'm just saying that we've gotten to the point where we make such crappy movies that we made this movie to make fun of those.
yeah, yeah.
And I'll go this far. You know that there is someone on the planet that watched this and did not know that it was a comedy.
I want to meet that person. I want to see what that perspective is like.
He's out there.
Oh, that'd be great. Now, okay, chainsaws against shark, fine, I get that. But like you said, it is a tornado, there is wind, and there is flooding. I don't see what you're going to do against that.
They just said they're going to drop a bomb in the tornado.
Because that's how that works.
Yes, thanks for just explaining to me how tornadoes work. When I was in college, I might have gotten a C in weather class, but I understand that much.
No, that doesn't make any sense at all, but okay.
For the record, it was a really boring class, and I just didn't work hard enough.
Oh, depends on your professor a lot of the time.
the only C I got in college. Yeah. Well, I am saying way too much about myself tonight. That's what happens when we watch Sharknado when I start drinking.
That's why it's fun to do these late at night.
Because then you learn all these weird things about me, and we talk about dropping bombs into tornadoes.
Tornadoes. See, next time you have a tornado warning, just throw a bomb.
See, that lady is so fortunate to get to be the only actress in the history of the world that's gotten to say, your son is going to drop a bomb in a tornado.
It's kind of the equivalent of being the guy that plays Joe Chill and said, hey, I'm the guy that made Batman. That guy's got a story for life.
She's got him beat. Oh, so we're doing more relationship stuff, right? Wow. This dialogue.
I feel like whatever she's saying is just not registering with Finn. Like, he's just kind of there, kind of dumbfounded for most of this.
It's not registering with me either. Are you like me? I'm having a hard time not just glazing over during these moments. And I always have that. I'm not really
sure what the drama
like
is at this point. I just know there's relationship things, but what's the problem?
The father isn't paying enough attention to one of the kids over the other, and I guess overall has this god complex where he is trying to save everyone else at the expense of his own family.
So this is now, not only is this a better movie than most of the stuff we get in the genre, it's also a better movie than Interstellar.
No, don't do that.
Oh, wow, we're getting paralleling relationships now. That's kind of interesting.
Because they both have scars except one came from a slide. Oh, and one just came from a tattoo being removed? Well, that's not interesting.
That's kind of anticlimactic considering how it was set up.
Yeah, it was, but the but Steve, it was a tattoo of a bunch of little boomerangs.
More credence to the Captain Boomerang fan club theory.
Well, you know what? I gotta give it this, Steve. It's not doing this background in flashback.
Yeah, that's cool. There is very little exposition in this film. I think that's pretty cool.
I'm surprised by that. Yeah,
No one's even bothering to explain what a Sharknado is. It just exists.
I do think it's pretty funny that somebody just coins it and then everybody goes with it. It's a Sharknado! Like, in the moment when you're all maybe gonna die, you're like, now is the time. Seize the day. Name the Sharknado.
It's very much like you said, a superhero kind of thing, where at some point the news just labels it and people go with it.
Oh, so she did get bitten by a shark. I knew that had to be it. Okay, so she
Well,
has. So does she have like a Ahab thing?
it's starting to feel like it. I mean, I'm not getting all the
Yeah.
dialogue just yet, but it's certainly starting to feel like it.
Oh yeah, look,
Yeah, she hates
so I
sharks.
really hate sharks. Well, now I really hate sharks
Yeah, I
too.
think everyone would at this point.
I love how he plays it like it's some like he had an epiphany. He's like, come to think of it,
It
at
didn't
this
occur to
point,
him now until just this moment.
I hate sharks. I just discovered my motivation. I hate sharks too. Now I have more of an incentive to bomb a tornado.
That's a lot of explosives.
That's a big tornado, Steve. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
if you
true.
were gonna bomb a
A
tornado,
tornado. I can wrap my head around that idea.
there
Bomb a
is.
tornado.
Can you believe how much there is to talk about?
I cannot. I
I
figured
mean,
my brain would just go dead at a point, but this is really entertaining.
pretty. I don't mean ideal wise, but just for like how much they're getting done with action and just stuff happening. Not terribly not dense, right? Like,
Oh no. I'm curious to see how much they do in the sequels to top this.
I mean, they have to keep getting even more absurd, right? Like,
Of course, yeah. But I
you
mean,
got to do like
where do you go after you bomb a
Sharknado in
tornado?
maybe like Sharknado in space,
I want that. That needs to happen.
Sharknado in the bottom of the ocean, like Sharknado versus Sequest,
Sharknado versus Predator.
Sharknado versus Alien versus Terminator versus Predator
Sharknado versus
versus
Freddy
RoboCop.
versus Jason versus Michael Myers.
Versus Mike Wazowski because why not?
Yeah, really. Versus Sully.
Sharknado meets True Lies.
The Sharknado Avatar crossover. That's bound to happen.
The the M Night Shyamalan version of Sharknado.
And the
Or the
twist is the
yeah,
sharks
what
are
is the twist?
actually the human beings the whole time, and they
Oh
swapped
God.
places.
Whoa. The sharks are from the future.
What a twist.
But it's
That is a
amazing,
lot of
Steve,
fun.
because we already had twisters.
Oh, I see what you did there. I love that the
Wow.
sharks are also really nonchalant about it. They're just flying around in a tornado.
The action movie poses right here are hilarious.
Yeah, they are.
Lock and load! Let's take out some sharks.
I can't believe the guy
You
actually
know,
made that shot though.
you know, I'm hoping that these are getting popular enough that eventually we can get like a big screen version with like an all-star cast because Schwarzenegger needs to be in one of these really badly, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
everybody get to the chopper and kill the sharks.
Oh my god, that needs to happen. Jean-Claude Van Damme needs to roundhouse kick one of these sharks.
Yeah, we gotta get Bruce Willis in there,
Yeah, yeah. Chuck Norris needs to be in there.
which is why it's directed by Shyamalan. I mean, do you think even he can screw this up? Because
um, he screwed up Avatar, so I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, I think I've never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I think it's got a little bit more substance to it than Sharknado.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely does. But I mean, that show is made to be a movie at some point, and he screwed that up pretty royally. So I don't know.
So they have just gone all the way with this. I
I
mean,
can't believe
like
that
that
worked.
tornado is enormous. Look how much look how big of a swath of the city it's taken up.
Wow.
Wait, why did that work?
I have no idea.
Why would a bomb dissipate
Now,
that that much spinning out? Like what? Like would it?
okay, it makes sense to a certain extent that if the mixture of cold and hot air was unbalanced, the tornado would fall apart. But oh my god, that was awesome. If people aren't watching, he just took a chainsaw and split a shark in half. Um, but I doubt that
Because
a bomb
that's
would
what
do what
Steve
you're
is here
supposed
to
to
see.
do.
Oh my god!
That was
Ah,
awesome.
this is. Oh my god! I'm gonna have horrible nightmares, Steve.
Oh man, I was getting ready to go to sleep too.
See, there is still a video game in this. Why is this not a rail shooter
I have
yet?
no idea. You could make an arcade game out of this too.
Oh yeah, sure.
This
I feel like
guy
if this
thinks he's
was
Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln style, and it's kind of awesome.
if this was in the theater, we'd have had all that merchandising.
Oh, we totally would
And
have.
there has been quite a bit, but I mean like arcade games and we need the Sharknado pinball machine, and you know I'm right about
Yes.
that.
Yes, we totally need that. I just want a straight up survival video game with this. That would be pretty awesome.
I know I've been a broken record, but I'm going to say this one more time, Steve. I'm enjoying the crap out of this.
I agree. I can't believe how good this is. I'm kind of in disbelief.
Yes, Carl, that means you. No,
You
they're old
see,
people. They can't hear. We learned that earlier.
so you see, it was foreshadowed,
Wait,
and
what?
therefore it is a more complex plot.
What? Explain to me why it is important that this news anchor's name has an I in it. She says this is Joni with an I. What? Your name is on the screen. You're a news anchor. I don't understand. I am fixated on it. What? How many Jonies work at the news station? That's not even a common name.
It even sounds like it would have an eye. Why doesn't she need to remind us?
This is Joni with an I instead of what, a E-Y? How else do you spell that?
Wow.
But it sounds like. But here's the thing. That's one of those goofy B-movie things where I can't decide if it's just a really crappy line because it's a bad script, or more likely with this particular movie, B-movies have those kinds of weird lines in them.
Yeah,
So
I
so
mean,
is it? Let's. Whoa, my God, that's
oh
horrible.
my god, that was great.
Wow. So I mentioned trauma. That is so trauma.
Oh my god,
This
I love
this guy
this.
just this guy's arm just getting eaten. Right. See, that hammerhead just landed on his face. See what happens when you dissipate a tornado full of sharks in it? Well, they land on people's faces. That's. Oh, now they're just.
Oh my god, it's actually
This is
happening.
great. There is, Steve. There's a Tick episode called "The Tick versus Reno, Nevada," where the Tick becomes obsessed with gambling, and there is the villain in that is a thinking and talking porpoise who builds a fish magnet to bring fish directly to him. And there's this great line where it's like, what does what attracts fish, and they can't figure out why the fish magnet works. But anyway, you see all these fish coming down like these sharks. It's one of my. It's not a great episode, but it's one of my favorite lines in that series. Money doesn't put fish on the table. Fish puts fish on the table.
That's great. Now I don't
My
understand how
God,
that worked, but we'll go with it.
You'll never look at Connect Four the same way again.
No, you won't.
Wow, that is a really fake looking fire.
Yeah, but the idea of a pool on fire.
It's a swimming pool. You couldn't have done a practical effect to set it on fire?
It's not that hard,
You
honestly.
couldn't have come up with some way to put a fire in a swimming pool? Again, I'm in this place with this movie right now where I can't tell when they do stuff like that if it's on purpose or not.
Because it's surprisingly competent for the most part.
Yeah, like it's surprisingly self-aware when they do things like that. It really is coming off to me like they're going, we can do it fake like that because it's that kind of movie. And
Yeah. I mean, in the movie that has bombs that can dissipate tornadoes, it's just all bets are off.
I mean, there's some lazy here and there with how effects are being done where you're like, I don't know why you didn't do that practical.
Yeah.
But if we're just making fun of these kinds of movies, now to be fair, I think it's important to know that the studio that is making this makes the sorts of movies that they are making fun of.
It's kind of meta in that way. Wow.
And so you got to wonder if this self-awareness is simply coming from, okay, we made a bunch of really crappy movies that nobody liked. Let's just actually have fun with one and not pretend like it's serious.
See, that makes me wonder if their movies after Sharknado actually got better. Because if that's the case, that'd be really interesting.
To be fair, I've never seen another one besides Transmorphers, but everything I've heard from people. And again, this movie people really enjoyed.
Yeah,
but why won't you die? You gotta have that line. This is so great.
Oh my God, that's great.
You gotta have that. No. This really should be a rail shooter. I feel like the cookie cutter plot for this is a rail shooter plot. I mean,
no, it's
like House of the Dead 2.
Yeah, no, you're right.
With slightly better acting.
This is like that horror movie Dead Alive, I think it's called.
My friends went inside. They're not back yet. I told them not to go. Wow, look at that guy.
He's really taking charge.
Steve, I don't know how any of those people are listening to him. They can't. They're old people.
They can't hear. They're old.
They're old.
No,
this movie's offensive to. This movie is elderly to the. Or I'm sorry, this movie is offensive to the elderly. It's elderly to the offensive. Man. Not even retirement homes are safe when you got a Sharknado, Steve.
No. I don't know. It seems like these sharks have a vendetta. It's kind of weird.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That guy has had a much darker and furrowed brow ever since he realized the very important character motivation of I hate sharks. Whoa!
Oh my God!
That was great. Did he just land in front of the Chinese theater?
Yes, he did.
I love the billboard with the big smiley mouth.
Yes,
and the shark just flew right through it.
Now, this is a movie that a kid with nothing but Jeeps and shark toys would make while playing.
That's exactly right, yeah.
And I think that's why it's awesome. Is this tornado actually chasing him, or is he going into the tornado?
Not sure yet. It's shot weird. That's another one of those scenes. Steve, are you saying that at the end of this movie, Will Ferrell is going to walk down the staircase into the basement and we're going to see a kid playing with a bunch of shark toys? And so what happened was he did a science experiment where he had he did the funnel experiment, right? Where he had the 2 2-liters on top of each other, and he's put a bunch of little shark toys inside of it, and he's just shaking it around like this.
And at the end of the day, the film will be a very meta experience about pure imagination.
If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it.
Oh, okay, so he was going at the tornado. That makes sense. Well, it'll stop making sense the moment this thing explodes and dissipates the tornado, but that's all right.
To a world of my creation. See, oh, okay, so it's Willy Wonka's fault. That's
That's a
wow.
lot of sharks.
That's a lot of that's a lot of sharks.
The museum will never.
Whoa! I love all the landmarks they're blowing up. This is fun.
Right?
Wow, there was a lot of blood that came out of that shark when he landed.
I didn't know sharks had that much blood. That's pretty awesome. He's so enthusiastic about his getting out of the ways.
Something. Oh my god.
Oh,
my
this
god.
is gonna be great.
Oh, he's
no.
sacrificing himself for her. Oh no!
Oh my god!
He's gonna chainsaw it. There it is. Here it comes. He went all the way through it. Whoa.
Oh,
Jarvis,
you know what's gonna happen.
Jarvis, have you ever heard the story of Jonah? I wouldn't consider him a role model, sir.
Oh no, here it comes.
How long? I can't believe how long he's been inside the shark.
I can't believe he made it through the shark.
Yeah. Well, we don't need things to make sense in a movie like this, Steve.
I'm glad they don't. This is pretty awesome.
Yeah. We don't have to think about things where, like, it's pretending to be realistic and telling us that it's a... I mean, I don't want to say that...
The guy takes a chainsaw and jumps into a shark that landed out of a tornado and then cuts himself out of its stomach. We can kind of let suspension of disbelief do its work.
What I was going to say, I don't know if I can say this is real suspension of disbelief, but it's about as close as you can possibly get.
So he's finally kind of disgusted.
Yeah, it took him long enough.
Well, I mean, I've never been swallowed by a shark, but...
Something this guy has not thought... Well, neither has he. He went just straight through it. He pulled his daughter out of the shark.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Steve, I'm so worried she's not going to survive.
So am I.
I'm very invested in these characters, Steve.
Oh, I know. I was tearing up when he realized that he hates sharks too, and they're destined to be together.
I want to see her live because it will redeem him because it shows that he cares about his daughter, and plus, she's hot.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm supposed to care. Oh man, I didn't see that coming. It was like the sharks. I never saw that coming, Steve. She's
lived.
not dead.
Oh my god.
Oh my
that
god.
was
hey,
the best twist in this whole movie.
Yeah. But there were a lot of them because they were spinning. So we already did that. I really hate sharks.
I can't believe that line worked.
It's like me too. That's why we're so alike, you and I.
And I never would have realized I hated sharks if it wasn't for you saying it.
Do you think it's occurred to any of these people how much this city is going to smell tomorrow?
Probably not, but they will have an unlimited supply of fish. So, there's that.
Yeah, and they'll start cutting them open and finding their loved ones. That's Jenny with a Y, Steve.
Okay. That's Jenny Lynn with a Y.
Jenny Lynn with 2 Ys. Yeah. Remember, if you ever go into journalism, you're going to want to say that out loud. This is Joni with an I here. I'm about to get killed by a shark. Hell of a day.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's an understatement. See, that's...
Wow, I can't believe how terrible everything looks. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. That's Kind of cool looking, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Steve!
It's so
Steve, that was worth the whole movie!
that
I can't
was.
believe I didn't see that coming.
I didn't.
At the end, it says Finn, like Phineas. Oh my god, that's brilliant! That's so
I'm
fun.
calling it.
Steve, this is clever. This is really pretty clever.
I'm calling it. This is a 5 stars on Netflix for me. This is pretty
I
awesome.
really enjoyed this. I mean, it's terrible, but it's the right kind. I mean, it's a so bad it's good, but even
It's
better than
aware
that,
of being how bad it is, though.
they knew it and they made what you'd want this to be. I mean, I don't know if you could do this better.
No, you couldn't. This is surprisingly well made.
If you're gonna go spoof, now you can take any premise like this and actually have legitimate drama behind it potentially. You could.
I'm just thinking about that. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm right about that, but anyway.
I mean, I don't know. I want to see the Breaking Bad level Sharknado, but
And then you've got to have your punk song at the end about Sharknadoes.
like you said, just the fact that it says Finn at the end is worth the whole film.
That's what Steve. That was worth the price of admission.
I love that. That was awesome.
Wow. Okay, well, everybody, thanks as always for watching our commentary podcast. This was really fun, and I'm glad we did it. I think Steve and I, if he's up for it, might come back with you at some point and do the second one.
We need to do that, but we need to make sure it's even later in the night. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, we need to do the second one. We need to do the third one just because it's called Oh Hell No.
Why not? Yeah, it's hilarious. Well, if they're made with the same kind of sensibilities, they might be just as fun.
Yeah, I hope so. Clearly there were people involved with this that really had a passion for Sharknado, and that's kind of strange.
I can see why it's popular.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of well deserved.
Folks, thanks for listening. We sure appreciate it, and we'll see you again shortly with more videos on Geekvolution. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Steve Baxi with an I.
Fiend.